This January Facebook post started an outcry after she detailed a negative experience at a cosmetic clinic there. The post turned into a group of thousands.
Hundreds of former patients have used the group to detail their own experiences with the clinic and its head surgeon. KCCI's Olivia Tyler has been investigating the story for 5 months. She has the latest on where the clinic, the doctor, and the former patients stand.
It's hard. It's hard to look at yourself and see what she did.
She is Dr. Lindsay Sturm of Sturm Cosmetic Surgery in Ames.
It guts me. It's going through it all over again to see what is happening to them.
And they are Dr. Sturm's former patients who allege traumatic medical experiences with her.
She was the new thing in Ames, told me, that she could really make my body look the way I would feel more comfortable with it.
That's what many Iowa women and some men were looking to hear before Sturm Cosmetic Surgery abruptly closed on February 9th. And after that, most of the women we spoke to say they never heard from Sturm again.
I didn't know that there were others that were as bad as me. I was just trying to kind of warn people.
All the women came here, a brightly lit aesthetic center now shuttered. Paperwork, medical devices, and filled boxes are locked behind glass doors after the clinic closed for unknown reasons and scrubbed its website clean, just a little over a week after Christine made her first Facebook post on January 28th detailing her experience with the doctor. Almost immediately, her post got traction and has since turned into a group of 3,000 people.
It took me 3 years to speak out, to feel strong enough to speak out.
Since Christine's first post, many in the group have come forward with their own stories of negative experiences at Sturm's clinic. Christine went in for what's popularly known as a mommy makeover, a combination of cosmetic surgeries designed to address physical changes women experience after giving birth. She paid $20,000 out of pocket. She says to later on find out from another doctor her breast tissue had died following her surgery.
I had a giant hole in my right breast that went almost all the way back to my rib cage.
She says after that, Sturm stopped returning her calls, so she filed a complaint with the Iowa Board of Medicine. And for 5 months now, others in the Facebook group say they've also experienced complications.
What I did not realize.
On April 2nd, I attended a meeting with a group of women who openly shared their experiences at the clinic. One patient underwent surgery with Sturm last December. After the initial procedure, she had to keep going back for further revisions.
She just kept cutting and kept cutting and kept cutting and resewing, and then she'd say, "Oh, you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing." I literally was chair-ridden for 3 months.
The woman who wishes to remain anonymous says one day she noticed a foreign liquid oozing from her body and tried to call Sturm, but the clinic was already permanently closed, so she decided to go to the emergency room.
When I pulled the bandage off,
They all were like,
the people in the ER about had a heart attack. They're like, "Oh my God." And they called the doctor, like, "You got to get up here right now."
The woman says she had a hole 2 inches deep into her stomach. Doctors at the hospital told her she was almost in sepsis. She also filed a complaint with the Iowa Board of Medicine. Ashley Caselli went to Sturm for a revision to a previous rhinoplasty, also known as a nose job.
when you look at my face to the side, my nose is smashed.
Now Ashley says it's difficult to breathe.
I cried so many times based on her answers. She made me feel like I was trying to get something that just wasn't attainable. And I wanted a functioning nose. Not only is it not functioning, it's disformed.
Ashley also filed a complaint with the Iowa Board of Medicine. On April 24th, I went to Sturm's house in Ames to ask her about all the allegations.
We're KCCI, and we wanted to ask you a few questions about the closing of your clinic.
No, thank you.
At first glance, she's almost unrecognizable. Her platinum blonde hair, now jet black. The women we spoke to look different now too, but they didn't get the look they wanted.
I don't feel like it's necessarily my body anymore. I can't explain how that works.
Sturm was a licensed physician who specialized in cosmetic surgery, ear, nose, and throat, and facial plastic surgery. On June 12th, she voluntarily surrendered her license without admitting to any of the allegations against her. The Iowa Board of Medicine charged Sturm with professional incompetency, noting that she failed to exercise a level of care expected by physicians in the state. Still, Sturm can reapply for a license again in 2 years. The board tells me complaints and investigations are not part of public record, and under Iowa law, they are unable to disclose any of those details. And while Christine and Ashley are beyond their statute of limitations, a couple dozen former patients did consider a class action lawsuit. But multiple attorneys, including a firm we spoke to, say, in this case, proving a class action suit would be too difficult because the women all had different procedures. Still, right now, Sturm faces 4 lawsuits. One of those suits is from 2023. A family claimed Sturm's medical negligence resulted in the death of their mom. In an answer filed by Sturm's lawyers, she denied those claims and said if there were any damages, they were caused by the patient. In March of this year, a former employee sued her for wrongful termination, sexual harassment, and age discrimination. In the suit, Tonya Becker, a registered nurse, alleges Sturm and other employees pressured her to use expired medication and lie to patients. She adds non-licensed employees scrubbed in on surgeries and patient logs were left incomplete. She also alleges state inspectors identified several deficiencies at the clinic through a non-punitive inspection, including improperly storing items and not complying with proper protocols. KCCI has reached out to the Department of Health and Human Services, but has not yet heard back regarding the truth of that specific claim. And Sturm has denied all the allegations mentioned. Becker's lawyers provided KCCI with this statement that says in part she, quote, recognizes the strength of those who have shared their own experiences. On June 14th, Sturm and her husband, an anesthesiologist at another clinic in Ames, filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And on June 20th, after getting notice of Sturm's bankruptcy from her lawyers, Becker dismissed her claims. And that bankruptcy filing automatically stayed all other lawsuits against Sturm. Do you regret it?
Every single day since the day of surgery, regret it.
For many, the scars go beyond the body. Christine has spent an extra $13,000 on revisions. Patients say Sturm didn't take insurance. Some paid thousands of dollars just before the clinic closed and before going under the knife. More than a dozen of those women say they requested a refund. Only one in the Facebook group says she received one. The woman disputed the charge on her credit card and says Sturm did not fight the dispute. Others have been requesting their medical records for months. Many have not heard back, but those that have received this email. While the women I spoke to say they're happy to see professional action taken against Sturm, they are now more focused on healing, mentally and physically. And the Facebook group?
It's evolved from kind of a whistleblowing site to a resource for recovery.
And a space to spread awareness, they say. So what they say they've gone through doesn't happen to anyone else. In Ames, Olivia Tyler, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.